All right, it's 6 o'clock. We'll get started to call the meeting to order, and we're going to do the pledge and the invocation. Miss Granberry's going to do the pledge, and Miss Pam's going to do the invocation. So if you please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Father God, thank you for the opportunity for us to be here tonight. We pray that you would be with Miss Alderson as she's on her way. And we just thank you for all that you've given us here in Mount Pleasant. Thank you for all the employees and the staff that operate the city in an amazing way every day. Be with us as we make decisions tonight, that all the decisions will be made in the best interest of Mount Pleasant and its citizens. And we thank you again for all your grace. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, ladies. Roll call, please, ma'am.
Miss Granberry,
Present.
Mr. Davis,
Here.
Mr. White,
Here.
Miss Alderson, and Miss Johnson.
Here.
We have 4 present.
All right, got a quorum. We've got 3 sets of minutes to approve. Once you've had a chance to look them over and read them, I'll entertain a motion for approval. We had that extra special call meeting for the one for the bid lady.
Extra special is what I like.
Yeah.
Yes.
Extra night. I make a motion to approve the minutes from the prior meeting, study session, the 11th, regular meeting on the 24th, and the specially called meeting on the 12th.
Got a motion? Do we have a second? Got a second, several of them. All right. Board's presentations and appointments. We've got 5 proclamations, and these are actually already done, but they are for March the 16th,
16th.
of which I plan to attend because we're honoring 4 ladies that have been teachers here in town, and I happen to know a couple of them personally. And I would encourage anybody that would be able to attend. It's going to be at the middle school. And it's certainly well-deserved. The 4 or 5 are Miss Ella Chavers, Miss Iris Mays, Miss Ruth Harwell, Miss Marcia Armstrong, Miss Karen Lockridge. Again, it'll be a very, very nice event, and it'd be nice to honor those ladies.
Mayor, once again, what's the date?
16th, and I think it's at
Middle school.
the middle school, but
I don't know what time of day is it, Miss Granberry?
It is.
Can't remember. I don't want to say the wrong time. So,
I don't either. That's why.
yeah. So I'll need to make copies of that after the meeting because they're going to frame those.
Yeah, good,
Okay.
good. For some reason, I thought it was 6. But I'm gonna bet I'm wrong.
3 p.m.
3. See, I
at the
told
middle
you.
school.
No, she's-
Knew I'd be wrong. But it will be a nice event. All right, any comments or questions on those? Completion review of unfinished business, ordinance 2024-1121. This is a public hearing and a final reading. An ordinance to amend the revenues and expenses of operating and maintain the departmental functions of the city of Mount Pleasant, beginning July the 1st of 23 and ending June the 30th of 2024. Shipra?
I'm going to turn the floor over to Shipra, but you all saw the kind of the bullet points of the changes in here. And we are going to be kind of rolling the raises in over the next month or so. And I always like to say that I'm included in the raise so that you're aware of that. But everybody will get something.
And that's all in there. The biggest addition since the last meeting, the raises were already in there. The water purchases and stuff that we had was already in there. The only item that are really added in there was after our downtown revitalization bid got approved. That's in there now under the capital projects fund.
Good.
Not the whole project is budgeted because we don't expect to complete the project this fiscal year, but majority of the grant funding and stuff is out there. For the next budget, we'd probably go ahead and budget the whole thing. So you'll see that in the summer. Other than that, most of the budget amendments is based off of interest earnings. We're only hitting the fund balance on the capital projects, of course, because that's all of our funding that's sitting in the fund balance from our borrowing that we did for this project. And then the 127 e-citation fund is another addition to the budget amendment. This was in the previous reading as well, but when I don't think I brought it up in the last meeting, but we had some money sitting in there and the police department was able to finally use it. So we did not originally budget for this to be used, but it's just an e-citation fund can only be used for stuff that is electronically cited. And so they were able to use those funding. So what I did is this budget amendment is the only one you will see, and that will close this fund out completely. So we're
E-citation will be gone.
completely gone after this. So this is the only one we have on it. That's all I have. If you all have any questions for us.
And we'll have one more budget amendment at the end of the year to
Yeah,
close
yeah,
out
the
the
year end.
close out the fiscal year.
Yep. Any question for Schiffer?
If not, Mayor, I'm sorry.
I gotta do it. I'll read
Oh,
public hearing.
I'm sorry.
Did anyone in the audience care to speak? Please let the minutes reflect that no one cared to. Go ahead, Mike.
Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to approve ordinance 2024-1121 as presented.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from mayor. The only thing I've got is on March the 16th, from 2 to 5, we're going to have a cruise in on the square. And it's sponsored by Kittrell's Cars, which I think is going to be pretty doggone cool. You know, we did this a couple of years ago, and some weekends we'd have 80, 100 cars. So we got a lot of car owners around here, so it'll be a good day, and the weather should, knock on wood, let's hope it's nice. And so I'd encourage everybody to come out, food trucks, and they're going to have it all. So it'll be a good event. That's all I've got.
So Mayor, I guess the previous presentations, they're gonna be on the 16th as well. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I'm going to run over there during the show.
Okay, I will too.
All right. Monthly financial budget report, please, ma'am.
You received your packets on Friday. Everything is running along smoothly. The only, I think we emailed out the emergency purchases, and that's in a separate agenda item as well, so
It
we'll
is
cover
later.
that later too.
Mhm.
But that's in this month's financial. You will see majority of those purchases that we did for the water emergency we had in January. So either the items some of the items we'd already paid at the end of January, but most of them have already been purchased. Anything major has already been purchase ordered out or was already put out there. Our enterprise funds, as far as sanitation, water, sewer, and gas, they're still running in the positive, which is great. General fund, which is our biggest fund, obviously one of the biggest funds we have, it was still running in the deficit at the end of January, about 500 some thousand. And right now, as of today, we're at 187 in the deficit because, again, February is when we're going to bring in most of our property tax. So just seeing a difference between, just the last 20 days, we've collected almost $500,000. So, but other than that, everything is okay. March will be when I probably go into more details on the general fund, water and sewer, probably one of those funds that you all need to just look at a little bit deeper. Just that's where all of our expenditures, majority of the expenditures happened in January. And then the cash transfer report, I include this in y'all's packet for the last few months now. That is just us letting y'all know when I move any major money around, or if we do any CD renewals and stuff, we usually email all the local banks, and whoever gives us the highest bid, we usually move previous CDs that have matured to a new CD with a local bank, but whichever bank gives us the highest rate. That information is usually in that cash transfer report, or if I make any major transfers, I like for everybody to know that a fund is closed out, a CD has been renewed, or cash has been transferred between banks where maybe it's earning more interest, or just something that way somebody else has, or the commission knows that we're doing this internally, but it's a reporting feature that you would not see it if I didn't do a specific report
It's helping
on
us
it.
out a lot because we're doing quite well with interest.
We are doing
Yeah.
good with interest. So, and what's helpful is with us doing that many construction projects, for us to be able to put that money into a construction account, it's definitely helped us because we earn higher interest rates on construction accounts. And then I think that's pretty much everything. If you all have any questions for me.
Any questions for Shipper? Mike?
I appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
Chipper, I apologize for not bringing this up at a study session or whatever, but it keeps slipping my mind. It was brought up, I don't know, maybe last year, like the county take, you know how they take so much, a month from your checking account for your taxes,
Property tax.
property tax. Is it doable for the city to look into that?
I've received requests about that. You can go on, I know that, I talked to the staff up front to just see what they've done in the past. They have kept a list of customers who've requested that, but what they do is they split your property tax into 4 equal payments, but they will not automatically draft it. Local government 2 days ago, or actually it was Thursday of last week or Friday of last week, has come out with an automatic ACH feature where the customer can allow that. We don't control that either, but local government has added that to our website. We haven't tested it yet because they literally turned it on today. That where you can turn it on and just take this much out of my bank account on this date for this much, and so if you did that on your own, you do have that capability. We haven't set it up to where we take that payment on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, but it's something that was brought up to me more recently again by
Terry Brewer.
Terry Brewer.
Jay Brewer?
He called last month and he asked if I had done that yet, and I was like, not yet, Terry. We're
And I
getting
can't
there.
remember what Loretta had at some reason that it was not easy for us to do, and I don't remember what that
It's
was.
probably the limitation of staff in a way. We have two full-time and one part-time person up front. When we set anybody up on a certain payment plan, then you have to make sure somebody's going through and pulling it. But it's not something that I don't think we cannot do. I just want to make sure I look at all the steps. But when local government just came out with this other extra feature it's already our website that we use. So they've turned that on. So you have the capability to set up auto pay on your own without the city. The city would just get the money and it would get applied to your account. Like we would not have your information or anything.
So it may be doable.
It is doable, but I have to, like I said, I have to do some more research with
But
it.
that's not something where we got into it before with a third party or something? So
No,
that
It
would
could be
be,
totally different, yeah.
oh, okay.
Citizen Portal is the preferred vendor by local government. That's our software.
Oh,
So it's all, so when you work with somebody that's a preferred vendor of your software, it automatically integrates easier with your software. So we try to use vendors that already
It
integrate with
hasn't
our
been,
finance.
we haven't been able to do it before. It's just coming online.
They just started with this feature of auto pay through them directly last week.
Can you send me that information?
Still, they
But-
turned,
But even at that, we can still call the girls up.
the girls up front, Sheila would be the one to probably call. And she said that if somebody does request that, now we don't advertise it because we haven't completely done it, but if somebody requests, like, I would like to split my payment into 4 payments, she will keep a list of those people and make sure that but it's the customer's responsibility still at the end of the day to make sure they come and
Yes.
make that payment. We are not going in and pulling it ourselves, no.
Oh,
You're not ready
oh.
for that to be made public yet.
No.
We're just too new.
Yeah,
I think
the
we
local
need to
government-
report back to you that it's now set up and.
Right.
Yeah, we have to do more. Local government has turned it on for bill payments. It's on there and you can go online and pay your bills that way every month. But for property taxes, I would have to specifically go in and turn it on.
But like the ladies up front every quarter or every 3 or 4 months.
Not
whatever
until
they-
we get this completely
Right.
straightened out,
Right,
yeah.
but I mean, you would have to take a check too, then. It's not,
Oh, no,
Or do
yeah,
it through
yeah.
ACH.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You could do it online. It's just you have to be responsible. The city, what people
We're not
have
gonna
been-
take it
yeah.
from you. You have to go online
You
and
have to
make that
initiate
payment.
the transaction.
Correct.
Okay,
The customers right now for billing, we pull every 15th of the month, we pull automatically. Anybody that signs the automatic ACH form for billing,
yes.
utility billing, we pull the money. Property taxes are 100% customer's responsibility right now.
Okay, right now.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's just the same company that we had the issues with before, though, that was taking money and it wasn't actually us. We had like,
Oh, the company not associated with us, but takes people's
Yeah.
payments and they take 10 days to get here. No, it's not. It'd be something through local government.
Yeah, it'd be
Who
through,
our software is.
okay.
Yeah.
local government data, which is nice. I mean, it's a nice feature that they've added because I'm sure that there's a lot of municipalities our
And
size that need it.
this is so new for them. When we're one of the beta sites, which means they're testing it themselves right
Means
now.
we're a guinea pig.
Good.
Good. Being in that industry, I'm telling you, some of those you got to, because if you say you're going to do it as of this day and you don't,
Oh, no, yeah, we haven't made any of this completely public as of, it's not doable.
I just wanted to piggyback on Schiffer's comment about property taxes and the question. So our delinquent tax sale is March the 5th. As of today, there's only one property on there that is delinquent for Mount Pleasant only. So as always, we'll try very
That's
hard
awesome.
to
That's awesome,
get that
though.
one off as well. I think there are probably 10 of them that are in the paper that will go and be published on Wednesday. But they're all delinquent from Murray County as well. And of that list, I've talked to a couple of those people that they understand, they just haven't made the payment yet. So we try to make sure that they pay those taxes as well as come back and pay Mount Pleasant for the ones that aren't delinquent yet. So you'll be hearing more about that probably
Next
next
month.
time. But that's where we are. The tax sale's a little earlier this year, and then we'll file our new one in April. So
That's great.
Yeah, that's good.
thank y'all for contacting people. It helps.
good. Anything else for Schiffer? Thank you, ma'am. Monthly report from city, we need a motion.
Yeah.
Motion to approve the final budget report as presented.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Monthly report from city manager.
Mary mentioned the car show, which I think I'm excited about. But the only other thing I was going to mention is we're getting into budget mode, everybody's favorite time of year. And Chipper's working on a budget calendar that will go out the end of this month. So you know kind of the stages of the process we're going to go through for the budget.
Okay,
And you'll be getting it at the end of this month. Just wanted to remind you of that.
good. All right, any questions for Kate? Special report on wastewater and the gas.
Okay, with wastewater, it's pretty, right now, the Rainy Street, we have the new pump station and force main across Sugar Creek. Electrical installation is complete. City electrical inspection is complete. We're waiting for our final manhole to arrive for a tie-in. Wastewater treatment plant. We're waiting on that electrical equipment that was, back ordered based on supply chain logistics. I mentioned in the study session that we were going to have a budget amendment for an increase in time because we have an inspector on the job every day, and it's about a $25,000 increase, but Barge did not have that ready, so that'll be in front of you in March. And then we are the wastewater model is moving forward. We had conversations and meetings with Barge about the model, and we are holding down on doing a pump drawdown testing until the model is fully developed and initial improvements are identified so that we're not compromising the system in any way. So all of that to be said, that everything's moving along, and the plan is for the plant to be fully operational 2024, and we're still heading in that direction.
Any questions for Kate?
I'd just like to, again, thank you, Kate, because I know especially the water plant has been a headache for a lot of people, and I appreciate what you've done and everybody else is doing.
It's been a headache, but boy, we've all learned quite a bit.
Like I say, I appreciate it.
A lot of hard work, but a lot of learning. All right, new business, resolution 2024-2, resolution revising the employee compensation plan.
So you all have the compensation plan in front of you. Just some highlights of that is we've formally put the assistant city manager position in there. Don't have any intention of filling that, but since we've had somebody doing that work, we have it in there. It's not in the budget to fill it. We have plant superintendents at a higher range because we're afraid we can't fill the plant superintendent without that range. Same kind of situation. We keep the Parks and Rec director in there, but we don't have an intention of filling it, something that we can talk about during the budget. We've raised top outs for several positions so that people can get a raise in this spring. But there are several positions in there. If you have any we have a pre-treatment coordinator position in there, but we weren't able to fill that, so we're subbing that out to an outside contractor. But we have that in there in case we ever get to the point where we find somebody that we could put in that position. We have the position in our compensation plan. I rushed through that, but if anybody has any questions on that, I'm happy to try and address those.
Any questions? I made the comment, Kate, we're gonna have to make sure we stay on top of this, because if you want to keep and retain the people that you got and try to hire new, you gotta be on top of it nowadays.
Yep. Every time I
I
hear
mean, goodness gracious.
Every time I hear of another city hiring somebody, whether it's a city manager or a water operator, I'm just shocked at the salary. It's just crazy. So it's where we're heading.
We're headed. All right, entertain a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-2 as presented.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second, all those in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried. Resolution 2024-3, a resolution of the city of Mount Pleasant for the naming of the pavilion in Gardenia Park. And the nominations for naming the park will be open for public comment until March the 13th. And on the commission meeting on the March the 19th is when the decision will be made by the full commission as to what we decide and a vote on the recommendations. We already have one letter, I know, of a recommendation, and that's how we would request that it come through. It would be through a letter requesting and just
But we don't know if
explaining.
you're going to have 1 or 10.
That's right, but I just think that's best in a very brief explanation, like what we have with this one, why you would.
Just like we did the water plant.
Got it. So, Mike?
Mayor, what about on the building part? Is it still like it was? But first of all, let me say, I appreciate Demetrius for what he wanted to do on taking his time for the shelter. But at the same time, when I think of that, I mean, this shelter has been going on since since I came on in 2014, 2016.
Thank you.
And which Jacqueline has, been a big part behind it. And like I say, I appreciate Demetrius for what he was wanting to do, but I just think right now, as a city, we owe it to the Gardenia people, or the citizens of Mount Pleasant, to take full control of building the pavilion. That's my feelings and my thoughts.
So you think that I'm
I
sorry,
think-
I misunderstood what you said, I think, because you're saying they need to take responsibility for building it.
No, the city does. I'm saying, I appreciate what Demetrius was gonna do. Demetrius was gonna take and he was gonna do the labor.
Okay,
Okay, but I'm just saying, this pavilion has been going on in talks for, I know, over 10 years. And I'm saying it's the responsibility of the citizens of Mount Pleasant to do what we said we was gonna do for the people up at Gardenia Park, because we haven't really done a lot up there at Gardenia.
that's what this is attempt is for, and the people that would like to have a naming right of it are gonna be able to send a letter in, and the full commission will vote on it on March the 19th.
I'm talking about the building part.
That's what I'm talking about too. That's what this resolution is calling for. It is for the nominations for the naming of the pavilion in Gardenia Park.
And then obviously the building, it would be decided once that's all voted on by you as a commission.
That's correct.
I think I understand kind of the misunderstanding. I think maybe Mr.
Webster.
Webster, he would need to, or he might want to resubmit his letter if he still wants to make a naming recommendation. It might not necessarily still be tied to doing the construction. I think that was the genesis of us knowing that somebody wanted to name it, but now we do have a process. It's resolution 2018-49 for naming facilities. And just like Kate said, this is exactly the same process we followed for the water plant.
That's right.
So knowing all that it happened kind of backwards, he may want to resubmit and just say, I'd like this pavilion to be named.
I'm just
This
going,
way.
I'm just going through, because I didn't know all of this.
Yeah.
I'm just going through what we've done in the study session.
Yeah, I understand.
And this other stuff, I guess y'all did. I don't know.
Can I say something?
Certainly.
In December, the mayor made statement at the December meeting that the bids had been out and they were in, and Gardenia, the pavilion would be up there by Juneteenth. So that was telling me that we had already bidded it out, although I haven't seen them, and we've already had somebody to do this.
We have bidded it out, and then
Yes.
he came forward and offered to provide the labor, so that changed the scope of the way we went. And now we will name the pavilion as you want to, and we'll do that.
The cost is under the bid threshold.
Yes.
That's why we passed
Yeah.
the resolution in December. When we passed that resolution increasing our bid threshold, I did announce that this makes some of our small projects not as, it won't take us as long to do them because. of
Don't
the
have to do
threshold.
sealed bids or anything
Correct.
like that.
There's not, like, we didn't do an official bid on it because it's under our bid threshold. Our bid threshold is now $25,000. If we can get materials, labor, and everything under $25,000 for a project, we do not have to bid it out. Paperwork is ready for it. This came up, that's why we brought it to the commission, and
And we've told you all that we're ready to move forward with basketball court and with the pavilion. And then this came up at the last minute.
But we could actually get it all at cost if we went with the Blue Cross Blue Shield grant like I bought up here for it to go up there.
I-
And it wouldn't cost anybody
and I
anything.
was not here for that, so I can't speak.
And that's something that we've been denied 3 times.
3 times.
And I've asked for the denial letters and have not seen them, but I do know they are awarding it in this area this year because I talked to them personally.
Is the bid letting out, I mean, is it out there right now? I don't even know.
She said they don't have to.
Oh, yeah, you got to
Yeah,
file.
we were under $25,000, so we do not have to bid this out, so.
No, she was talking about the Blue Cross Blue Shield grant.
Oh, yeah.
So I looked into it because Ms. Granberry brought it up in December. We did not, as a city, apply for it. I believe Main Street applied for it.
They did, that's correct.
So it's not, that's probably why you're not getting any documentation from anybody who works at the city, because the city actually didn't apply for that grant. Now, I do believe at some point the city may have, and again, it's before me, so I can't speak to it. But as far as most grant papers go, if we've received a denial, we would share it with y'all, but I do not have any documentation
I
on
have
it.
put in writing requests to see the denials, and I have not got them yet.
But what I'm saying is if the city didn't
Not us.
apply for a grant, we wouldn't have the denial
That
for
was
it.
done
Because
through Main
we
Street.
didn't, as a city, apply for the funding.
But that's not the way it was told when it was done.
Like I said, I
And
was
I
not,
asked, because I even asked, because I had someone that could do it. And like I said, I talked personally with Blue Cross Blue Shield people. And I went off on him so bad that he guaranteed me that he was keeping my card and my person was getting it this year.
if they reached out to me as the finance director, I would have those emails back to you all, because like I said, we've received multiple other grants and we share that information with the commission. And again, if you do a public records request, we would give you anything that we have as the city. I mean, I do not hide any of my stuff from
He's
any of
gonna
the
let me,
commissioners.
well, he's gonna let me know before, he's gonna let me know by March, so I'll know.
All righty.
But I just
Again,
like
this,
to-
this will be open for requests for the nominations through March the 13th and will be voted on March the 19th at our regular commission meeting.
Again, Mayor, I'd just like to make note that I do think it's the responsibility of the city to furnish the materials and have someone to build.
We'll have
And
that
that's
vote,
with me.
we'll have the vote on the 19th. We've got through the 13th to get the recommendation.
And this resolution only deals with naming the facility. I know y'all talked about a bunch of other issues. I just want to make
That is correct.
that clear. All it does is open the nomination period and then set the time that the commission will decide.
I understand
Okay.
that, Corey, but usually when we talk on something Thursday night, what we talk on Thursday night is usually voted on Tuesday night. And what we talked about,
We made it clear Thursday night that this would not be voted on tonight.
It's only voting on the nomination period.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing right now, voting on the nomination.
I have to receive all the nominations in written form.
That's correct. That is correct. Okay, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion for approval.
I make a motion to the resolution 2024-3.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm still a little confused.
All we're doing is naming a pavilion.
That's all we're doing right now.
Opening the nominations.
Opening the
for y'all to
nominations
send them to
for-
me,
Okay.
So I can bring them to the next commission
Okay,
meeting.
I'm good.
There's no prejudice for the other conversation at all.
Okay. Okay, I'm good.
Since it's not in here, could you state your name and address so that they can know where to send it? Thank you.
So I'm the city recorder, and all the nominations will need to come to me in written form if they come. If you want to bring them in a sealed envelope, I will bring you all the sealed envelopes so you can open them yourself at next month's meeting. Or if you want to email them to me, I probably prefer, do you think I should do just your sealed envelopes for all of these or? Okay.
I mean, it's been really
It's
informal.
been very
so it's up
informal
to
in the
y'all.
past,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yes.
so.
Yeah.
But if you all wanted to, this is actually, the resolution is approval from y'all to tell me what to do. So if you tell me I need sealed envelopes, I will bring you sealed envelopes. If you want emails, I'm good with that. I just, because this is not, we don't have any legal binding behind any of this, except that we need to open up a nomination process.
That's correct.
I'm not good with emails because a lot of the people that's in that area don't even have internet, let alone emails.
They can send something in the mail, they can hand deliver it.
Yeah, they can write it down and
That's
bring it
why I
up
asked
here.
her to get an address and stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
I would say City Hall, 100 Public Square, if they want to bring it here. This is where I am every day, so, and make it out to Shipra Cox, the finance director. My information's on the website.
Thank you.
Mike?
If there was somebody up at Gardenia that lived up in there and they wanted to get names, is it okay if they done that?
They have until March the 13th to turn in their request.
I don't
Anybody can.
I don't
Okay.
understand the question.
I'm just saying, Corey, like if somebody took took over the duties of naming, you know, who they wanted to name, different names or whatever. But if somebody up there, and I'll give you an instance, that Marvell, if she wouldn't mind, like up there, that's where it's going, is up there in their neighborhood. So somebody like Marvell husband could take names from up there, and she could send the names to y'all that she has, that somebody gave her. Is that okay?
I think it's open to
It's
anybody.
open to anybody, yeah. So
Anybody.
Okay.
as long as as long as it gets to Shifra in some kind of
Doesn't matter
format.
what form.
It
Okay.
doesn't matter, yeah, how it gets here.
Okay.
And again, we'll reference it back and we can, the resolution's on the website, but that 2018 49 website, or resolution that y'all passed several years ago, it states in there like the criteria or the process for nominations, and it also states like reasons why we would name something after an individual or a group. So that's, I think, helpful. It will be helpful to y'all if the applicants or the nominees will write in there, you know, I recommend that we name the pavilion this because of this reason, and they can relate back to the ordinance.
Take that resolution again, and I'll make sure I copy all of them with it.
2018-49.
Okay, I'll make sure you all have a copy of that the next day or two, so that you can share that with anybody you want to.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm at City Hall, so as long as they get it to City Hall, I should get the letter. Any of the girls up front, everybody knows where my office is, so.
I was just trying to, I guess. So you
100
wouldn't be-
Public Square.
I was just trying to get it where you wouldn't be overwhelmed.
No, I should not be. I think we'll be okay. I just want them in a sealed form or some form where I can just bring them to you all, because I need to be independent of the process myself, so.
Okay.
All right,
So do we have a vote?
we did.
Yeah.
And everybody want to revote.
We had Miss Willie made the motion and Miss Johnston seconded the motion, and my understanding it was 5-0 unless there was a no vote.
All right. Okay. Resolution 2024-4, resolution regarding property tax corrections and acceptance and surplus.
And I know Corey spoke to this in the
Yes.
closed session, so I'll let her speak to it again.
I'll come up here so Teresa can hear me when she's listening to our minutes. But this is a resolution that does three things. It accepts two properties that Mount Pleasant actually purchased back in 2017, I believe, from a delinquent tax bill. So what happens is when a property gets sold for Mount Pleasant, for Murray County taxes, but it also was delinquent in Mount Pleasant taxes, it gets bid out to Mount Pleasant. So we actually purchased those properties in 2017. So they are
Mill Road
Scotts Mill Road and
and
Oswego.
Southport Road.
Southport Road. So those are two properties that have been owned by Mount Pleasant since that time. The deeds were not recorded until January. Ma'am?
There are two different properties with different book numbers and page numbers in the Recorder of Deeds office. Yeah.
So we went ahead and drafted the deeds and had those recorded. So the first thing this resolution does is it accepts those properties. You as a board are saying, yes, we own them. We've accepted these deeds. All right, the next thing it does is it removes all back taxes between the time that this property was sold and the time that the deed was recorded so that it corrects our books. So that's the second.
And let
action.
me interrupt real quick, Ms. Cranberry, I apologize. So there's two properties and you have two attachments. One is Southport Scotts Mill and the other is Boswell.
Okay.
Yeah, I apologize.
And the third thing it does is it goes ahead and declares these two properties surplus. And so that we can bid these out. And so this one authorizes the city manager to sell the surplus properties by sealed bids. So you're giving Kate the authority to go ahead and bid these out. Because the assumption is these are not properties that the city intentionally bought. These are properties that we were kind of given. So that's the three things that we've done. This is a process that we've done before. We usually do it separate, but we figured since we had these two properties that we would go ahead and do it all at once. But I'm here to answer questions if you have any.
I think Corey made it pretty clear at the work session what we're doing. Any questions for Corey?
No, thank you.
Entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we pass resolution 2024-4-A and allow the city manager to sell the properties.
Got a motion, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2024-5, adopting the strategic plan. Thank you. A lot of work went into that. We spent better part of 6 hours.
So obviously we have Chuck Down here from MTS again, and he's sent us this resolution, and you all have seen the written form of our dot exercise and everything else.
Yeah.
So you have anything you want to say, Chuck, or anybody have any questions for him while he's here? I think he wants to move to Mount Pleasant.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, really.
we got a great real estate agent with a poster on the wall.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Thank you for all
Appreciate
your.
what you do.
Any comments or questions on the strategic plan? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we accept resolution 2024-5 as presented.
All right, we got a motion, we have a second.
Okay.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Resolution 2024-6, Mount Pleasant entering into a memorandum of understanding and MOU with City of Columbia IT for the police radios, correct?
For CAD.
Yeah.
For CAD.
We're sharing IT information basically with
Yeah.
the city of
Yeah, so
Columbia.
what we're doing is that we're just creating a tunnel between our services.
I think Michael spoke about this Thursday night. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I will say the only thing that's kind of, not strange, but different about this resolution is that we're going first and it's an agreement with Columbia. So I added language in there that said if we are approving this contract, this MOU in the substantially the same form that it's in, but the police chief can make changes to it to accomplish the goal.
Because they're voting on it in
Because
March.
they'll not until April.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So it just was It's very bare bones contract. It's just we're sharing information back and forth. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
But
Go ahead.
I make a motion for resolution 2024-6.
Got a motion, do we have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I don't see anybody here from the well.
Man, you said Mayor would be here for 30 minutes.
And again, I will reiterate, that it is a fantastic program. It's something to see. All right.
Mayor, I just like to add, I didn't know what the well was until y'all explained it to me Thursday night. And it is a great thing.
And if there's been a miscommunication and she wants to come back, we'll let her come in
Yeah,
March. But
yeah.
I think she wanted to make sure the community knew that they need volunteers and things like that.
And I understand from a young lady that is volunteering that they're just about full. Matter of fact, she had to reschedule and it's this week. And it's, the community's certainly getting behind it.
That's good.
All right, emergency water purchases.
So, Mayor and Commissioners, y'all have in front of you kind of a list that totals $96,000 from the unfortunate January weather event. And in the past, typically, if it's an emergency, it's an emergency. We move forward and purchase like we've done so. SHPRA attended a conference that said that suggested, I don't know if it's Comptroller's office, but we just kind of regroup and show you exactly what we did spend, and that we vote to acknowledge the fact that we made these emergency purchases. Now, anything that we've spent, we will try and get back through all of our work with TEMA and Office of Emergency Management. But some of those things take years. But they have our list that's even bigger than this. Time of people's time and everything that like that. But just acknowledging the fact that we move forward on these things that need to be done.
It was a rough few days, Mike.
I'd just like to say, Mayor, again, okay, well, thank you. When we have emergency purchases, in reality, you don't have to tell, and I appreciate, what you did by coming, putting this online and showing us.
Yeah, we want everybody on the same page.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And there's some guys here tonight that sure gave it a lot. Thank y'all.
Yep, they did.
More than you know. All right. Write-offs, utilities?
We just need a motion and
Yeah.
a vote that we've acknowledged those emergency purchases.
Okay. Entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we acknowledge emergency water purchases.
Got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a number of seconds, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
I'm assuming that's ratifying the purchases as well. Is that, or are you just
Yes.
asking for acknowledgement?
Technically, as an emergency, they don't need to be ratified.
Right.
We're just acknowledging that,
Okay.
that we've made them.
All right, write-offs for utilities.
And you have a handout in front of you, a small list that used to be pages and pages, but that we just need you to acknowledge those accounts are going to be written off.
Most of them are very small amounts. The larger one is the deceased, then it's gonna be difficult.
And we just need you to approve the write-off list.
All right,
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the write-offs as presented.
got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Got a second, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Discussion and consideration of setting a special call meeting for March the 7th at 5 to review the city manager position applications.
And that's a Thursday evening, basically 2 weeks from now.
I'm good with it. Go ahead.
I'm good with it too, but I did have somebody to come to me and say, I can't get, which I don't know if it's gonna be on video or what. But he says, I wish y'all would keep your meetings at 6 o'clock, just in case somebody wanted to come.
Nobody ever come.
No,
I'm just,
and it's traditional, we do our special calls at 5. I mean, it's nothing unusual. You coming for that? Good. Do we need a motion or anything on that?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
'cause we'll
would.
have to do notice and everything.
And we talked about it in the study session, but just for the record, the initial review date is set for February 26th. That's when y'all will get all the applications, the whole packet of everybody that submitted applications will be sent to each commissioner. She'll have a chance to review them individually. And so what this meeting would be a meeting for you as a group to review those applications together. Decide if you wanted to go ahead and move forward with interviews, or you wanted to leave this, you wanted to wait longer.
Right.
If you decided you wanted to go ahead and do interviews, then you could pick who you wanted to interview.
And
out of
actually
that.
set dates for that.
And actually set dates. So this is just the next step in the process. And that's why it's a special called meeting, because these are kind of specific items that you would be talking about. So those were the three things that you would be doing at that meeting.
Any comments or questions for Corey on that? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we set a special called meeting on March 7th at 5 p.m. to discuss the city manager position applications.
Got a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. General comment from the citizens. First one I've got up is Ms. Hudspeth. If you don't mind, please come forward and state your address, please, ma'am.
My name is Marva Hudspeth, and I live at 112 Tulip Street. You know, I personally feel that naming a building or a bridge or a shelter is an honor. I would like to know if the city has any rules and regulations as to how you approve a person for this honor.
That's exactly what she was referring to when she talked about Resolution 2018-49, and it outlines specifically what we look at to acknowledge it, and then it's ultimately up to the commission to vote on it. But I'd be happy to get a hard copy to you.
I would like to have that, please.
I'll get you one.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Shirley and Larry Webster. And if you don't mind, please come forward and state your address.
Shirley Webster, 115 Gardenia. I have addressed the city council once before about this, never got an answer or anything. My water bill is ridiculous. And all these late charges that I have to pay because I don't get my check until the third Wednesday, you add up all them 15 and them $10, that's a lot of money for a person that's on fixed income. Nothing can be done where you can move it back, at least to the 24th or something. I mean, these late charges, and plus the water bill itself, it's ridiculous. I don't know about nobody else, but I do know what mine runs.
I'll just add that our water bill is not bad. Sewer, I'm with you, it's ridiculous, and I
Yeah.
pay it like you do. But our water is very competitive.
It's still that extra that I'm having to pay. It's not my fault that I don't get my check until the third Wednesday of every month. They moved the light bill back. Why come the water company can't do it? Everybody, the water and the light used to be, you had to pay about 15 and you'll get charged, the late charge. They moved the light bill back to the 22nd. That would help. I mean, my God, all these $11 and $13 and $15 every month plus 140, that's a lot of money.
I
never
remember this
got an
coming up, and we
answer
talked to
the last
Loretta
time.
about it, but even if you do it at the 21st, you're gonna have people that don't get their check to the 25th, 24th, and 25th. We felt like at the time we could not address everybody, and I don't even know how to make that change, but, I mean, Chipper, we can look into it, but we won't be able to make everybody happy.
No, that's, and Schiffer and the group have done a wonderful job at looking at that and responding as best we can, because it is all confidential information, and we're not going to disclose that confidential information to anyone.
That's why I'm here, because I never seen any change, heard any change, or anything. Nothing.
But the
That
problem
was
with it
last
is
year.
if you change it for one, you could affect another 25 downstream.
Well, I think the people that get it on the books, I mean, they don't have to pay the late charges on the light bill.
You gotta,
They get it
you,
in time.
you have to set a date.
I just said,
Mike?
when the bill.
I mean, I understand where she's coming from. And I don't know if anything can be done, because, I mean, we got rules that we have to go by. I know that. But it's like we'll sit up here and we'll do write-offs. And I'm not saying, I mean, let's just say, Ms. Webster, let's just say there's only 10 people like her that comes up and they have late fees or whatever. Can it not be weighed? Or, I mean, some people live by paycheck.
We have 2,690 water customers as of the January billing. We have 1,824 sanitation, 1,481 gas, and 1,433 sewer. We are not allowed by law to treat certain accounts differently because it is discrimination. It does not matter who you are. We get calls from people who are struggling and need help, and we try to transfer them to nonprofits in the area that can help them or can get them to the billing date. But the way the system is set up, to change the billing date, we have to change our whole setup. The other part is if somebody has, like I said, if some people call us and they say, I have issues paying my bill, all we can do is transfer you to or give you information to a nonprofit that can help you, because utilities are, even though it is a city utility, it is still considered by law to be ran like a business. And by law, I cannot change what we do for one customer to do it for a different customer. And like I said, we have a lot. I mean, we're not a big utility, but we do have 2,000 some water customers alone.
I just took that class and everything you're saying is true. But then on the other hand, we call ourselves a retirement community. And back in the day when there was a limit of Social Security people, they got them on the third. When National Security's overfilled, a bunch of them get them on the third Wednesday instead of the
I have
third.
tried to
And
change.
you can't
to the
change it
third.
with Social Security, so if we're gonna call ourselves a retirement community, then we ought to some kind of way cater to retired people.
Ms. Webster, how much do you have to pay every month over?
From 130 to 140. Plus the late.
Do you mind me paying your bill and you pay
No,
me?
I got it. I just need this to stop because it's not right.
That's what I'm saying. Can I pay your bill and
No,
you?
I got it.
Okay.
But if you could get any
I'm
assistance,
just
you could get
trying-
I'm
ahead
not
for the
gonna
next
ask
month.
for any assistance. I'm not gonna
It's
do
not
that.
assistance. It's
I'm
not
not gonna
assistance.
do
I'm
that.
just trying to keep
I've
you
been
from having
living
to
here in
pay
this
extra.
town for 70 years. I have always paid my bills. You can look through the tax thing. Shirley was through taxes,
I know.
never behind. She's current with it.
I
She does what
understand,
she's supposed to do.
but I'm just going by what they're saying.
Yeah, it's
And-
always different. But
But-
anyway,
But
let's
I would
drop
do
back.
it. I would do it
Let's
myself.
just drop back. I have another issue. I address this. I'm going through something where your house values so much. I just learned last year when I was here that all that junk down there at that railroad track, all them old beat up half of cars is bringing the value down on everybody's house in 10 miles distance. I was told, well, we're gonna look into it. Then I heard, well, it's always been there, why we're gonna worry about it? I had a truck in my backyard, and we had to move it because the city said you couldn't have a truck or anything in your yard. What's the difference? You said that was the city ordinance. What's the difference?
I do remember that, and I know that there's been discussion about requiring the property owner to put the fence, and I know we've had staff turnover. I don't know the exact where that sits right now, but I know the lot she's talking about too. It is zoned a higher commercial. I can't remember exactly what the zoning is, but it's not zone residential. I know that.
Right.
I don't remember where we left the conversation, but
Chris, you
I
mind
think
looking
going
into
up
that?
there. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay,
All right. I don't have to come back and
Thank-
find on thing again.
thank you, ma'am. All right, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Ready.